20 Giant Pandas. Facts about pandas. They are big, cute and cuddly with a ferocious appetite for bamboo. But they are also intelligent, shrewd and surprisingly agile. Pandas are skilled tree climbers. While they have a reputation for sitting around eating bamboo, giant pandas are actually very agile creatures. Not only are they very capable swimmers, their paws are well adapted for the climbing of trees, with retractable claws and furry undersides lending them a solid grip. Once among the branches, they tend to rest or sleep. But they will also keep a lookout for predators. Fear being one of the motivating factors for going up high. Panda cubs begin ascending trees when they are 6 months old. And while the males become more reluctant to leave the ground, as they grow older, females continue to use the trees. During the breeding season, they stay within the trees to keep a distance from the males, and wait until they are ovulating or ready to mate. Both genders have a head for heights, though they can live as high as 3,962 meters, 13,000 feet, above sea level to feed. According to National Geographic. Unlike other bears, they don't hibernate. Most bears sleep for months at a time during the winter, when food becomes more scarce, and their bodies seek protection from the cold. But giant pandas do not hibernate. Instead, they seek a good supply of bamboo in the warmer temperatures of the mountain's lower reaches and munch their way through even the most freezing of winters. By doing this, they are able to ensure their survival. Giant pandas are unable to store enough fat to feed them through the winter, so by constantly eating, they give their bodies the energy they need. It doesn't help that bamboo has very little nutritional value. So the giant pandas need to consume between 12 and 38 kilograms, 26 and 84 pounds, of it each day in order to gain enough goodness. They typically spend between 10 and 16 hours a day eating, and much of the rest of the time sleeping it off. Panda poo fetches over 130 pounds per cup. In 2012, a Chinese businessman used panda feces to grow tea, which he sold for a staggering £22,000 per 500 grams, £1. The use of panda feces has a more obvious benefit to ecology, though. Giant pandas live in the Yangtze Basin, one of the most biodiverse areas of the world, with mountains, fertile wetlands and dense forests that cover an area 7 times the size of the United Kingdom. As they eat so much, the pandas have a frequent need to empty their bowels. Doing so, they spread seeds in their droppings and fertilize the land, encouraging vegetation to grow. This leads to a healthy, thriving habitat, and aids the survival of the many rare and endemic species that live there. In 2013, scientists discovered microbes in panda feces which, said Ashley Brown, from the Mississippi State University, might be a solution to the search for sustainable new sources of energy. They have staring contests with opponents. Giant pandas are usually timid, shy and peaceful. But if another animal confronts them and they feel they cannot escape, they will engage in a sort of staring contest by lowering their head and staring directly at their opponent. They send out an aggressive warning to stay away. while staring is a typical threat among many animals. Experts are not entirely certain why giant pandas adopt this particular stance. One theory is that it makes their black ears look like an extra pair of eyes against their white fur, and that this gives the illusion of another panda standing behind them, thereby showing strength in numbers. If so, there's no denying it's a shrewd tactic for such a solitary animal. Giant pandas also have a specific way of showing submissiveness. They avert their heads from the animal in front of them and use their paws to hide their eye patches. Females adopt this position during mating too. There's no denying it's a shrewd tactic for such a solitary animal. Part of the wrist bone has developed into a thumb. Giant pandas have 5 digits on their front paws. 4 of these digits are made up of 4 bones, and one of these, the thumb, is made up of 3. But look more closely and you will see what looks like a 6th digit. An opposable thumb the animal uses when it grasps bamboo shoots. It's a bit of a red herring, though, for this isn't a true thumb. It is actually a single bone that has developed from the panda's wrist and taken on the role of an opposable thumb. It is in the same position as a small bone called the radial sesamoid, which exists on other carnivores to reduce the chance of tendon sprain. Pandas were the first animals to be protected by the WWF in China, where they are viewed both as a national treasure and a symbol of peace. The giant panda has been the symbol of the WWF since its formation in 1961. Referred to as pigeon-toed because of the way they walk. Their front paws turn inward. Giant pandas tend to trek slowly, although they can reach 32 km per hour, 20 miles per hour. The entire bottom of their feet touches the ground as they walk. When giant pandas mark their territory, they work out the location of the best supplies of bamboo. Their lack of energy means they do not compete for food, so it is rare to see 2 of them together in the wild, unless they are breeding. Since female pandas ovulate once a year in the spring, they have a slow breeding rate. They give birth to 1 or 2 young between 95 and 160 days after mating. The cubs stick with their mother for the first 3 years of their life. Canny pandas have been known to fake pregnancy in breeding centers. In 2014, a giant panda called Ai showed signs of being pregnant, and even had a surge in hormones. But scientists believed she merely wanted a better room and treats. Newborn pandas are 1/900th the size of their mum. Panda mothers feed their newborns up to 14 times a day. 50 hours a week are dedicated to helping fatten up cubs, which are born at just bigger than 1,000th of the size of their mother. Panda cubs can only crawl after 4 months of life, relying completely on their mother for survival. A panda's bite is stronger than a jaguar's. If push comes to shove, giant pandas can put up a fight. They are strong animals, weighing about 150 kilograms, 331 pounds. And they can grow up to 1.9 meters, 6 feet, long, making them in size alone a considerable foe. They tend to swipe at an enemy, or use their strong jaw muscles to bite down hard. They can cause much damage, as Danish and Australian biologists Per Christiansen and Stephen Rowe found when their team studied the bite power of dozens of animals. Their study calculated a score which took into consideration a creature's size. A grade exceeding 100 was indicative of a bite greater than expected. By their calculations, the jaguar scored 119, the giant panda scored 151. There have been rare reports of agitated captive pandas attacking humans who get too close. A 15-year-old boy jumped into an enclosure at Beijing Zoo in 2007 and suffered excessive bite marks to his legs from a giant panda called Gugu. WWF volunteers are able to identify individual giant pandas by the bite marks the animals leave on undigested bamboo found in their dung. Like fingerprints, each bite mark is different, allowing experts to view each panda's range. Giant pandas eat sitting upright in a similar manner to humans. This gives them balance, allows them to conserve energy, and frees up their front paws so that they can grab at any bamboo within their reach. When seeking protection and shelter on the ground, giant pandas make dens in stone caves and in old-growth forest habitats. Females seek hollowed-out logs, in which they are able to safely raise their young. Their stomachs are adapted to stop getting bamboo splinters. When pandas eat, cellulose in the bamboo is broken down in the panda's digestive tract by bacteria, which according to a study by scientists at the Chinese Academy of Sciences Institute of Zoology at Beijing in 2011, is usually found in the intestines of herbivores. 7 of these bacteria, the researchers discovered, are unique to pandas, but in order for this process to take place, the animals need a level of internal protection. The problem with bamboo wood is that it inevitably splinters, posing a potential danger to a panda's internal organs. For this reason, a panda's esophagus has a thick protective mucus lining, which extends into its strong, muscular stomach, preventing the bamboo from cutting the animal's insides and causing injuries. They communicate by scratching trees. Giant pandas communicate with one another in many ways, one of which is scratching marks on trees, thus indicating their presence. They will also communicate vocally, with a series of barks, growls, squeaks, chirps and moans. They make a friendly bleating noise too dissimilar to a lamb, and their vocalizations are enhanced during the breeding season. The animals also use scent glands positioned beneath their tails to mark their territory on trees, carefully choosing those they feel are more likely to hold the scent for the longest possible time. The strong smell informs other pandas of their sex, age, social status and reproductive condition. And it is so stinky that even humans can smell it. The pandas cannot afford to take a random approach to scent marking, though, because their poor diet means they need to conserve their energy before they commit. They also consider the range and the likelihood of others pandas detecting the scent. They've been around for 3 million years. A skull of a pygmy giant panda dating back 2 million years was found in southern China. Scientists since concluded giant pandas could have evolved for as many as 3 million years, and have lost their taste for meat in the process. According to research carried out by Jianzai Zhang at the University of Michigan, pandas possess an inactive version of TAS1R1, a taste receptor gene that exists in all other carnivores. It would explain why they turned to bamboo for the bulk of their diet. Their eye spots go from circle to tear. When a panda is born, their eye spots are initially circular, but these change into teardrops as the animals grow. Scientists suggest the black eye coloration helps to make the giant panda appear more intimidating to any potential predators. Mums wake cubs up to play. Play and interaction is extremely important for cub development. Not only do young pandas play with one another, but mother pandas will even wake their cub up simply to play. This play teaches juvenile pandas the essential skills to survive.